Thanks everyone for joining the session. So, welcome to BGP classes. So, BGP is a border gateway protocol. Everyone knows, right? If you want to configure a protocol between two autonomous system member, what routing protocol we need to configure? We need to configure BGP, right? So, if you see here, I already discussed in during dynamic routing protocols. I already discussed this thing with you. Okay, so now I can also mention here. If you see right, if you want to configure, one second, if you want to configure any port routing protocol between two autonomous system number here, so what routing protocol you can choose? We have only one routing protocol. You can configure BGP. So, so each and every service provider will have their own autonomous system number. So suppose there is a Airtel in India. In Airtel in India, the Airtel company has their own autonomous system number. How many routers are using, right? All the routers will comes under same administration. Suppose in Airtel I'm using 10,000 routers. All the 10,000 routers belongs to Airtel, right? So we know Airtel also know what are the routers belongs to Airtel. But in routing platform, in digital platform, how they will come to know? We need to assign autonomous system number. So the same autonomous system number we can configure on 10,000 routers. So all 10,000 routers belongs to Airtel. Like that Geo. So like that we have plenty of ISPs in entire world. This entire world is connecting with BGP protocol like this. That's how we are getting the internet. So how exactly internet is working? Through BGP protocol, because between autonomous system number to another autonomous system number, we are configuring BGP protocol. For example, if you are using Airtel SIM and you are calling Geo, right? Geo network, the calls are going or not? Calls are going, right? How exactly it is happening? There is a BGP configure between them. That's why all Geo networks are advertising into Airtel. Airtel networks are advertising into Geo. Same like Geo to BSNL, like that. Each and every service providers are connecting each other. They are exchanging their information. Okay, this is how it is. How exactly? BGP. You know autonomous system numbers. This is a range 1 2. So generally 2 to the power of 16. 2 byte autonomous system number. 2 to the power of 16 means it is 0 to 65,535. So it will start from 1 to 65,535. Whatever it is, right? 1 to 64,511. These are private autonomous system numbers. 64 to 512 and 65,535 is public. So sorry, this is private. So these are the public. So suppose I'm Ramesh, I'm going to establish a service provider. I need to purchase autonomous system number for my routers. So I need to contact IANA and they will give this autonomous system number. They will register for me. How domain name you're registering, right? Same thing. Okay, yeah, fine. So if you see right, BGP is the exterior gateway routing protocol. We have only one version, version 4. We don't have other version because from last 40 years we are BGP internet is established already. If you change the version or if you change the protocol, entire internet will be collapsed. That's why they're not even touching this BGP version. Just they are giving features are there, right? BGP features. They are improvising those features, but they are not changing the version or they are not changing the exterior gateway protocol. Okay. So now BGP uses TCP protocol like SSH, HTTPS, HTTP, right? So what is the SSH port number? It's 22. What is the HTTPS port number? It's 443, right?
Perfect.
Same like that. What is the BGP port number? It's 179. Very important.
179.
Okay. Then BGP is the application layer protocol. Is it a service like HTTPS? Is it a routing protocol or application layer protocol? What is that? You may get confused, right? What is the
Application
answer?
layer.
So what is the
Yeah,
answer? So you tell me,
application layer.
what do you think? BGP is the application layer protocol or routing protocol?
routing protocol
Okay, but why it is using TCP if it is a routing?
because
Hmm.
between autonomous systems
That's okay, but then I'll apply the logic.
uh,
So I'll give you a hint.
is a
I will give you,
or
wait. I will give you a hint. Think about it and answer it. Okay. So if you remember, recall ARP. ARP is a layer 2 protocol or a layer 3 protocol.
Layer 3.
Huh?
Layer 2.
Man,
it's a layer two.
who said layer 3? Bro, I have joined the class on the day 2. I show you the packet capture and clearly showed it. ARP is a purely layer 2 protocol. Then why you are seeing in the ARP header layer 3 information? Can anyone answer it? ARP is a layer 2 protocol and you can see in the ARP header IP addresses. So
It's a payload something.
very good
Payback.
payload. Very good brother. Payload. Now it's the same thing. Okay. BGP uses TCP and the payload is IP addresses, routes. So it's a contradict statement. It's a hypothetical question you can say. There is no answer for this question, but the experts are expecting answer from you as yes. BGP uses TCP. Uh, please go on mute. Yeah, BGP uses TCP port number 179. Why? Because it will establish a connection between BGP peers and they will exchange the internet routes very safe and secure manner because TCP is a safe and secure and it's very reliable, right? So yeah. However, what information they're exchanging? Generally, applications are exchanging the information data. Here, they're exchanging the routes, whatever the routes, right? BGP routes. They will exchange the routes in secure way through secure connection. So you can say it's application layer protocol and you can say it's a routing protocol. You can call it is a both, okay, but you cannot and if it is using application TCP doesn't mean it's a application layer protocol, okay. It's a routing protocol, but it will take a TCP as a mechanism to exchange the routes. So you cannot say it's a application or you cannot say it's a routing. It's both. It's a hypothetical question. So you need to explain them in a concepts. Okay, so that they will understand you are having the very good understanding of practical knowledge of BGP. So now you understand, right? BGP is application layer protocol or routing protocol. You have to say, hey, it's a hypothetical question. So you need to say like this. It's a hypothetical question. Yes, BGP is a purely routing protocol to exchange the routes, but it will take a help of TCP. So it uses the TCP and the payload of TCP is these routes. So you cannot say it's application and routing protocol individually. You can say it is a both because the mechanism which is using is TCP to exchange the routes. That's it. Fantastic answer. Okay. Yeah. Now everyone understood, I hope, right? A very important question. Okay. Now you know, right, how routing protocol, dynamic routing protocol works. First, they will exchange the hello packets or something, and then they will discover the neighbors, and they will exchange the routes, and it will run the algorithm, and it will calculate the best paths, and it will put all the best paths in routing table. Everyone knows this. I told you
Yeah.
during OSPF, right? Everyone during OSPF class I explained you, right? Do you remember, guys? How the
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah. So here also, but remember, BGP is a internet, right? BGP is a internet routing protocol. So in internet there will be a fake guys also. So that's the reason that neighbors are not discovered automatically here. You need to use neighbor statement and configure he is my neighbor. Suppose in front of my house there is a Ajay. His name is called Ajay. So generally IGP protocols, right? If you configure IGP protocol, they will discover the neighbors automatically. But here I need to mention, hey, Ajay is my neighbor. I need to manually mention in BGP. Understand? By using neighbor statement. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. You need to configure the neighbors in BGP manually. Okay. Yeah. Then after it will establish, you know, BGP neighborship and it will exchange the routes. Now, the thing is, so BGP is a very good routing protocol. It will carry the huge routes, millions of routes, lakhs of routes. So that's the reason you can use BGP within the autonomous system number also. Initially, the BGP is developed to configure between two autonomous system numbers. Now you can use within the autonomous system number. Understand? So if you use BGP within the autonomous system number, it's a IBGP, internal BGP. Okay? If you see right here, so if you use BGP between two different autonomous system numbers, we call EBGP, external BGP. If you use autonomous system number, suppose if you see right, if you use BGP, it's AS200. In AS200, how many routers we have? There are three routers. Hello, are you seeing my screen?
Yes, yes.
Right? In this AS200, you have three routers. If you configure a BGP routing protocol between these three routers, I mean within the autonomous system number call, it's a IBGP, internal BGP, right? Within the autonomous system number. If you configure routing protocol between AS200 and AS300, right? Between autonomous system number, it's called EBGP. Is it clear, everyone? Hello, is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah. So because BGP carries millions lakhs of routes, it has a very good features. That's why they want to use internally also, right? Especially ISPs. Okay. Now I want to explain you directly BGP. So everyone knows basic BGP configuration. We did this when we are doing OSPF real-time project, right? The configuration everyone knows, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's build a lab. Okay. I want to teach you the BGP directly. Okay. Let's do this. Okay. So, are you seeing my screen, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you know this, right? It's a OSPF within two areas. Is it clear, everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
It's clear, right? Okay. Now, consider this a topology and R1, R2, R3, R4, and I named a host names as Hyderabad, Karnool, Anantapur, Bangalore. These are the loopback addresses of, you know, routers, and these are the networks of the routers. Okay. Now, whatever you see, this is I want to remove OSPF here. Okay. So, okay, fine. I want to create a new one. Let's create a new one. Okay. Since it's a day one BGP class, right? I don't want to confuse you. Let's configure from scratch BGP day one 2025. It's day two, no? No, 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 day one. So what I want to do now, first of all, I want to do the BGP lab, all IBGP, EBGP lab. After that, I will explain the theory. Okay? If I explain the theory first, right, you cannot understand properly. I want to show you practically and explain it. Guys, remember, BGP is a vast technology. If you know BGP, you are the person who, you are the professional network engineer. Okay, proper professional network engineer. So I'm teaching from scratch. Okay, every day listen this class one more time to get a clarity on the concepts. Configuration is dead easy. Okay, now let's draw a topology. Okay, R1, R2, R3. Okay, and R4. Okay, I want to configure a Okay. Is it clear, everyone? Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mm. So today I want to explain a lot of things. Okay. Be ready. You must ask questions if you don't understand. Don't be calm, everyone. So these are topology. Okay. Yeah. Generally, I explain you in real-time project also. So if you see in real-time project here, if you see this video, right, everyone knows enterprise architecture, right? So you will see core layer, distribution layer, and access layer. Okay. So generally, in every company, you will have two routers for redundancy. One is primary path, another one is secondary path. Okay. So generally, it will connect it to two ISPs. Each router is connected to two ISPs for redundancy. Generally, if you see SBI Bank Lab, right, there are only one router. It is connected with two ISPs. But here I have taken two routers because in real time they use two routers. Okay. So I'm not sure how many people taken in real time project. So this is a project I discussed. There are a lot of projects as well in the training. This is one of the enterprise project. Okay. So you will see this is a primary path. This is a secondary path for redundancy. Redundancy also. If anything happened to this router, right, entire your organization will lose the internet, right? That's why in every organization they use two routers. From each router it is connected to two ISPs to get a internet connection. Okay. Similarly, whatever you are seeing right here, the big square box, this is called what? This is what? One ISP. Just understand, one company. Okay. You can say Tungabhadra networks, TB networks. Just understand in this top here, right? Here there are two edge routers and this is a LAN network. So currently we're discussing about BGP, right? So that's why I'm taking edge routers only. So you can see, right? Whatever it is, it's a big device or small device, or I'm involving all architectures. If it is a service provider, whatever it is it a service provider or if it is a enterprise network, you will see two edge devices here. R1 is edge one, R3 is one. This is TB networks. I'm taking this AS number of TB network is 100. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And now if you see here it is. Okay. I'm giving a connection. Yeah. Okay. Hmm. Everyone understand what I'm drawing, what I'm showing here? This is A100. It's the same company with two edge devices. R1 is edge, R3 is edge. It is connecting with two ISPs. Okay. Let me draw in some big way. Guys, everyone are getting what I'm saying here?
Yes, sir.
Everyone. Okay. Only one person is responding. Okay. So you can see this is what you can say this is geo connection and AS number is 300. Just understand. And we can give the color here is some kind of blue, not blue, some kind of this. I'm giving AS 100 and 200, right? Generally it is, I can see this is called Tata. It's a Tata connection. Just understand. It's a Tata ISP. Here it's a Geo and its AS number is 300. And this Tata is having another connection with another ISP, right? Like BSNL and all. And these ISPs are connected to what? Data centers called Geos and all, right? You can say these ISP, this is a data, consider this is a data center, you will have a bunch of routers. So internet, you can say this is all internet. Okay. or else you can say I'm just taking a cloud here to represent the internet. I want to, maximize it, but it is not taking. Just understand, let's draw this only. Okay, you can say internet. Okay, what you call it's you can say this is internet. In internet, in this world, you have bunch of routers and servers and lot of ISPs. In internet, it is connected with ISPs and all. So I'm just connecting here one more router. I can name it as a Google router. Okay, you can say it's a Google. So just understand it's only Google, but in real it is connecting with one more ISP, another ISP, lot of ISPs it is connecting. Just I called as internet and just taking as a Google. Okay, I am connecting one more thing, one more connection here. Guys, are you getting my point?
Sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So in internet, let's assign any color. What color I can assign? This is good. Okay, fine. Now, okay, you tell me it's all at four autonomous system numbers we have, right? Okay, so between this is Tungabhadra Networks Company R3 router, it is connecting R3 to R4, right? Two different autonomous system number. What routing protocol I need to configure here? EBGP.
BGP.
EBGP. BGP and it's called EBGP. Okay, here it's also EBGP and here it's also what? EBGP. Okay, right. So first of all, let's configure EBGP between these edge devices. Okay, EBGP. Okay. So
Okay.
now between R3 and
Yes,
R4,
sir.
right? What network we can take? See, guys, remember one thing. For real time, right? For real time, you use public IP addresses. Okay. For EBGP, they use public IP addresses. Remember, everything is public if it is external. Okay. Just a second, guys. ఏం కావాలి శాస్త్ర ఇప్పుడే అర్జెంటా నీ క్లాస్ చెప్తున్నా నాకు సౌండ్ వస్తే నాకు అర్థం కాదా నీకు అర్జెంటా ఒక గంట ఆగు కొంచెం కూడా తెలివి లేదు నీ క్లాస్ చెప్తున్నాను కూడా నీకు యా ఐ జస్ట్ kept on mute guys one second yeah okay so now you can see right so between autonomous system members we need to configure a protocol that is called BGP in EBGP right we use public IP addresses because these are the internet right these are the internet everything between here to here everyone we use public IP addresses but for lab purpose I'm taking these shortcuts to build our lab so what network we can take here 30
34 network.
34.0/24 and here I use 34.4 okay here I use 34.3 is it clear everyone
Yes,
right
sir. Clear.
so now if you see right I'm on R3 so now tell me what is a EBGP configuration I'm on R3 the configuration is first of all so what you need to configure BGP, right? You know how to configure OSPF, right? So you guys have done the BGP lab also, okay? Maximum people, but because between when I was explaining a real-time project, you configured basic BGP. Same thing I'm teaching here, okay? So what is that? Router BGP.
Interface.
Generally, what is the BGP configuration? Router BGP.
BGP number.
Yeah,
Autonomous.
autonomous system number 100. Now so now here I told you right in BGP you need to manually configure the neighbors. Now for R3 who is the neighbor?
R2.
R4.
R4,
34.4.
right? Yeah, 34.4. You need to mention 34.4 is my neighbor. And what is the remote AS?
300.
300.
That's it. Is it clear, everyone? It's simple. This is what it is. Once you go to router BGP 100 and the neighbor statement, if you give right, the neighborship will establish both the sides if you configure these statements on both the sides. But the thing is, it is only establishing a neighbor. It will not advertise any networks. Now, what you need to do? You need to advertise the networks. So, advertise the networks. What command you need to use? Use network statement. Use network. What network you are? I'm on R3, right? 3.3.3 mask. So 255.255.255.255.
255.255.255.
Okay, this is a one way to advertise a network, or else you can do one thing, or you can in Cisco we have a feature redistribution, right? Redistribution connected. If you give this command, whatever the connected routes directly connected, 3.3.3 is assigned to loopback 0 and 34.0 is directly connected, right? Those directly connected will be redistributed into BGP. Is it clear, everyone? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Right? So, yeah. So, these are the two different statements, but try to understand. Uh, oh, it is gone. Mask. Okay. So, same configuration you do on R4 also. Okay. Like that same configuration we do on R6, R5. So, that can we quickly configure EBGP on all the routers? Shall we do now? Are you ready? Okay.
So,
Okay.
Ramesh Garu, I have doubt. Can I
Yeah.
ask or shall I
Yeah,
ask?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, please ask. Please ask. Yeah.
Uh, so ఇక్కడ మనం
Hmm.
థర్డ్ కమాండ్ నెట్వర్క్ 3.3.3 అండ్ మాస్క్ అని ఇచ్చాం కదా ఇక్కడ మనం సబ్మిట్ మాస్క్ ఇస్తాము వైల్డ్ కార్డ్ మాస్క్ అది అంటే
Yeah, yeah, no subnet mask. Good question. In
ఓకే
OSPF, we use wildcard mask. In BGP, we use subnet mask. Yeah. Okay.
ఓకే
Sir, a small
థ్యాంక్స్
doubt.
అండి
Yeah, please.
Sir, R3కి నైబర్ వచ్చేసి R2 కూడా అవుతుంది కదా సార్?
Yeah, తర్వాత చూద్దాం. I'm
ఓకే.
I'm I'm just talking about between EBGP, R3 and R4 మధ్యలోనే చూస్తున్నాం. ఓకే.
ఓకే. ఓకే.
సో R3కి నైబర్ R2నే అవుతుంది. అది IBGP నైబర్ అవుతుందా? EBGP నైబర్ అవుతుందా?
ఐ ఐ ఐ
IBGP because
IBGP.
so IBGP explain చేసేటప్పుడు చేస్తాను. But now it is about EBGP. Let's configure EBGP
రమేష్ గారు
first.
ఒకసారి రీడిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ ఒక్కసారి అంటే ఆ కమాండ్ మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి చెప్పరా అది అర్థం కాలేదు రీడిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్
So have
అని
you
ఎక్కడ
done the
అంటారు
OSPF real-time project lab? Just asking.
యా
Generally.
యా
అందులో మనము in ASBR router we redistribute from OSPF to BGP, BGP to OSPF చేసాం కదా generally. So yeah, same way directly connected routes కూడా ఉంటాయి, right? Once you assign a IP address on the interface, right? Once you assign a IP address on the interface, so those routes it will show you as a connected, right? See, have you seen routing table? Once you assign IP address, so those connected routes we are redistributing into BGP. It means what
ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే
3.3.3 and 34.0, whatever the networks which are assigned interface, that will be redistributed into BGP. So that if you don't use redistribute, you need to use the network command for three times for 3.3.3, 34.0, and here 23.0 generally. Okay.
ఓ సింగిల్ స్టేట్మెంట్ వీ కెన్
Yeah, single
చేయొచ్చు అనమాట
statement. Yeah, it is redistributing directly connected routes. It is redistributing. Okay. Yeah.
ఓకే
Yeah.
థ్యాంక్స్ అండి థ్యాంక్ యూ
Yeah. No problem.
బ్రో ఒక డౌట్
Yeah.
ఇక్కడ నెట్వర్క్ 3.3.3 ఇచ్చాం కదా,
Mm.
ఈ 192 అనేది పబ్లిక్ ఐపీ, ఈ 3.3.3 అనేది
No, no, no. One
బ్యాక్
night.
కదా.
No, no, no. For remember one thing. In real world, we use everything public IPs. Okay. We use only public IPs.
ఈవెన్
Okay.
3.3.3 కూడా పబ్లిక్ కదా.
So 3.3 is a loopback that is for internal purpose. See, remember one thing. In EBGP, they use only public IP addresses in real world. The point-to-point IP addresses are public IP addresses. Remaining whatever it is private or public, right? That will be private IP addresses will not advertise into public. That's sure. In internet, everything should access through public only. Okay. So the border will be public IP addresses. Okay, how these networks are converted? There is a NAT. You already know NAT, right? Except May 21st people. That will convert from private to public, public to private IP addresses. That is for LAN network side. But in BGP, real world BGPs, the point to point IP addresses are public IP addresses. See, here I'm just taking a loopbacks. Don't take loopbacks. No problem. I'm just taking a loopback IP addresses to advertise how you can advertise the networks. Not only loopback networks, their LAN networks or whatever the networks, the public networks, they will advertise in BGP, everything. So internally also you can advertise your private IP addresses because BGP you can now use internal and external. If you're talking about external, you only advertise EBGP. I mean, you will only advertise public IP addresses. If you're talking about IBGP, you will only advertise internal, private IP addresses. Okay, so that is for our main understanding. But this is the lab. We are just taking the IP addresses. You can take if you want public IP, you can take it. So this is a lab. It will not stop you anything. Okay, so in real world, if you're configuring a EBGP, the point to point things are public IP addresses, but this is private IP. I have taken just for lab purpose. Okay, but in real world, this is a public IP for between EBGPs, EBGPs. Okay, is it clear?
Okay.
Yeah, for IBGP only it is internally, right? That's a privates. Okay, so forget about public and private first. Think about how exactly the BGP works. Okay, yeah. So no one will ask you generally what IPs you use generally, but I'm explaining it. In real world, they use public IP addresses because it's an internet between EBGP neighbors. Okay, fine. So now this is the configuration on R3, right? So I hope your doubt is clear or anything else.
సార్ ఐబీజీపీ కూడా ఇంటర్నల్ గా కమాండ్స్ ఇలాగే ఉంటుందా లేకపోతే దానికి ఏమైనా
అది
చేంజ్ అవుతుందా సార్?
వెయిట్ ఇంకా నేను చెప్పలేదు కదా వెయిట్
ఓకే.
యూ నీడ్ టు వెయిట్ ఓకే ఫస్ట్ ఈబీజీపీ గురించి కంప్లీట్ చేసినాక ఐబీజీపీ చెప్తా ఓకే రైట్ లెట్స్
Yeah,
టాక్
Ramesh
అబౌట్
Goud.
ఈబీజీపీ యా
Yeah, with redistribute connected, we are advertising both the networks at a time, loopback and interface IPs at a time, right?
సో
And network advertisement,
what do you
no?
mean by connected
Uh,
what do you mean by connected if you assign any IP address on the interface right
yeah,
that will show in connected right that will show as a connected the basic
connected,
thing
right?
so those connected things will advertise into
Will be
BGP
advertised. Okay.
yeah
Okay.
okay please everyone concentrate it actually saying, multiple times. It's okay to ask initially. We have to discuss a lot of things, right? So, yeah, connected. If you see interface G, what is the interface? It is 1/0, right? Here, yeah. Interface G 1/0. If you assign any IP address here, what will happen? Show IP route. If you check the routing table, it will show you the C connected, the entire network. Whatever the IP address you use, it is locally connected. L means local, and this subnet mask is /24, right? This entire network shows as a connected. These connected routes we are redistributing in BGP, right? That could be anything. So 34.0, 23.0, loopback 3.3.0, anything. Okay, that will be redistributed in BGP. Okay, now it's clear, right?
Yes.
Right.
ఎస్
Okay.
ఎస్ క్లియర్.
So this is the R3 configuration, and this is the R4 configuration. Okay, so let's configure R3. I already opened R3, assign IP address, and now interface loopback 0. Okay, what is the IP address? 3.3.3.3. Okay, now what you need to do, you need to configure a BGP, right? So router BGP, what is the AS number? It's 100. So now you need to establish a neighbor manually. So 192.168.34.4 and remote AS is what? It's 300. Okay, so this command will only establish neighborship, that's it won't advertise anything. So currently I'm not using redistribution, I'm using network command to manually advertise the networks. What network I'm advertising now here? Loopback IP. So network and give a mask. Okay, is it clear? I just advertised it. Okay, now go turn on R4 geo router. Okay, configure terminal. Okay, what is that router BGP and autonomous system number? So his configuration is tough. It's easy, right? You already done OSPF. So now neighbor what? 192.168.34.3. Yes or no, everyone? For R4 neighbor, who is the R4 neighbor?
3.
Yes,
3.
yes, correct.
And what is the remote AS?
200.
100.
100 and
100.
100. Okay, that's it. I need to advertise some network. What is that? 4.4.4. And the mask 255.255.255.255. Right? Done. See, now you advertise this, right? BGP will come up now. Okay, see, carefully see here. So in entire BGP, please use this keyword called advertisements. Advertise is the key here. Very important. Okay, very important. I think I did not assign IP address on the interface. Interface G 1/0, right? IP address 192.168.34.4. Subnet mask is this, and no shutdown. Interface loopback 0. IP address. This is that. So show IP. So to check the BGP neighborship, right? Simple. Show IP BGP. Show IP OSPF, right? Same like show IP BGP summary. See, now it is up, right? So how long it is up now? From last 20 seconds. See, who is my neighbor? The neighbor is 34.3 and it is up now. Okay. Now what route I am advertising to R3? What route I am advertising to R3?
4.4.
Very good. 4.4.4, right? You need to check it whether I am advertising or not. So how to check? Show IP BGP to whom we need to check, which neighbor we need to check, neighbor, right? Neighbor is 192.168.34.3. It means what I want to see, what are the IPs, what are the routes I am advertising to my neighbor 34.3. So advertise routes, right? See 4.4.4 I am saying. Everyone understand? Everyone understand? Hello?
Yes.
This is very important command to check during troubleshooting. What are the whenever see people say ISP say hi, I'm not receiving the route because you're working on internet. There are a lakhs of routes, right? First of all, if I'm not receiving, first of all, they will say packet is dropping at your router. You need to check first whether I'm receiving this route or not. So go on R3 now. Now here it is advertising. Go on R3. Same show IP BGP neighbors. Who is the neighbor? 192.168.34.4. Just see received routes. Whether I am receiving a routes or not. Okay. So whether I received a routes or not. Okay. So you need to configure soft inbound configuration. No problem. Uh, I need to enable this. So this is for lab. Or it's a lab device, right? It will show you like this only. Okay. So do not worry about this command. It's none of out of our syllabus, but to see inbound routes, right? So it will you need to enable inbound soft reconfiguration. So let me enable. Okay. Yeah. So go to router BGP. Let's see router BGP. It's 100, right? And what is the neighbor? 192.168.34.4, right? and what you need to do, soft reconfiguration inbound. That's it. Now end. I think it will work. See now receive route. So I am receiving a route 4.4.4 from whom? 34.4. Guys, are you with me? Everyone? అందరు నాతోనే ఉన్నారా? Everyone, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, bro.
Ah,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
remember, remember one thing. Very, very, very important. This is a network I am receiving from next hop. What do you mean by next hop? See, generally, next hop means you will say next router, generally, yes or no, which I am connected. But in BGP,
Yes.
next hop means not a next router. Remember, in BGP, next hop is not a next router. Next hop means whatever the neighbor you are giving, right? Whatever the neighbor you are giving, that neighbor IP address is the next hop. Is it clear? So in this case, the neighbor is only the next router physical IP only, but in other IBGP, right, it is not like that. So remember, very, very, very important. In BGP, next hop means the peer IP address, the neighbor IP address, whatever the neighbor statement you gave it here, right? Yeah, that's a peer IP address. Everyone understand? So now ping 4.4.4, you will pinging. Okay. So you're receiving from this peer. Next hop means what is next hop? Next hop means peer IP
Next
address,
route.
neighbor IP address. Okay. Remember one thing. Everyone, please understand. Next hop means in BGP, next hop means peer IP address. So BGP is the biggest routing protocol, right? It has its own routing table. What is called? Show IP BGP. It's a BGP routing table. Okay. Please go on mute. It's a BGP routing table. This is called RIB table. This is called RIB, routing information base. BGP RIB table. Okay. So this is called what? BGP RIB table. All the BGP routes. You will only see the BGP routes. See here. If you see greater than, right, it's a best. If it is a star, right, valid. You may see the routes star and best for each and every route. Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of things need to discuss each and everything. Here, network, which you are whoever is advertising, and the next hop. For why it is showing 0.00 for next hop? Because 3.3.3 is your local router, right? R3.
Yes, sir.
3.3.3 IP address is your local router. So there is no next hop for this. So it's internal route. Internally you are redistributing. Okay. Yeah. Now, if you check show IP route, right? What is the administrative distance for EBGP? It's 20. Is it clear, everyone? EBGB route యొక్క అడ్మిటెన్స్ B అని ఉంది కదా ఇక్కడ. See, for this 4.4.4, B is called what? B is called BGP and BGP route is 20. What is administrative distance of OSPF? 110. What is administrative distance of EIGRP? 90. Now, what is administrative distance of BGP? It's 20. So these are basic BGP, EBGP configuration, advertisements, and the commands, everything. Everyone understood so far.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
EBGP configuration is done. Shall we do IBGP configuration? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's the same thing, but the
Yes,
difference
sir.
is I'll tell you. See here. Okay. Difference I'll tell you. Okay. Now, IBGP means within the autonomous system number, if you configure any protocol, right? It's called IBGP. So now IBGP, right? IBGP. So IBGP you can establish with loopbacks. Okay. So you may have questions. Why not EBGP? We are not establishing with loopbacks. So if you
We
want,
need public.
if no, it's okay. General question. Whatever public, private, don't involve that thing. Try to understand concept. Okay. So first of all, you can establish or not. That is a question. But public IP, yeah, that's the main thing. But try to we'll understand the concept first. Okay. So EBGP,
Maybe autonomous number.
No, 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 bye. Let me complete, okay? So in EBGP, right, we only establish a BGP with point to point, not not loop back. Why? Because EBGP TTL value is 1, right? TTL value 1. So the BGP TTL value, EBGP TTL value is 1. If you configure EBGP, right, between autonomous system neighbor, the TTL value in the packet address will set to 1. Why, you know? So if it is set to 1, how come you will establish a loopback? Loopback is another indirect, right? So generally, BGP uses TCP, right? So simple. So if I want to connect with my website, okay, something tungabhadra networks.in. First of all, what I need, what should I check? If I want to access a website, that website is a
Internet.
IP address.
no simple logic question. I am trying to access my website. That website, how I am accessing through HTTPS 443, right? So before going to
Yes.
establish a TCP connection, right? So,
UDP.
brother, I did not complete the question. Please listen the question carefully. Okay. So the question is, if you want to access the website, first what you will check?
Domain name.
No, no, no.
Address.
First of simple thing, you will check the reachability, right?
Ping.
Yes or no? You will check the
Yes.
reachability, right? Whether I
Yes.
am pinging my website or not. Yes or no?
Yes.
Go on mute.
Yes, sir.
Go on mute. So first you will check the reachability. Then only you will able to access. So to reachability, right? This 34.120 dot is a public IP located in somewhere else. Okay. So it's a indirect IP, right? Is it a directly connected IP or indirect IP?
Indirect.
Indirect, right?
Indirect.
So now 4.4.4 is also a directly connected IP or indirect IP.
Indirect.
So
Indirect.
now if you want to access a website, you should have a reachability, right? Because it uses TCP, three-way handshake. For TCP connection, you if you're a direct or indirect doesn't matter. You should have a reachability to establish a three-way handshake process. Yes or no? For
Yes.
TCP connection. So BGP also uses what? BGP also uses port
TCP.
number port.
TCP.
Yeah, BGP uses TCP port 179. It means
179.
it will also establish a BGP three-way handshake process. But if you want to establish a three-way handshake process with the neighbor, right? It should have a reachability. Since it's a point-to-point, right? It has a reachability. For 4.4.4, it doesn't have a reachability. To have a reachability, what you need to configure? Any IGP protocol you can configure, or any static route you can configure. Understand, everyone? For reachability, whatever the neighbor you are going to give, right? BGP neighbor, that neighbor should have a reachability because it is using a TCP. For it will establish a TCP three-way handshake process, right? If you want to connect with the TCP connection, first of all, the destination IP address should be reachable. Who is the destination IP address here? The neighbor. So since it is a point to point, it has a reachability. It will establish it. But for if you want to establish a neighborship with loopbacks, right? It should have a reachability, right? Yes or no? Hello,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So in EBGP also you can establish a BGP with EBGP with loopbacks, but since it is a TTL value 1, you should not use. You need to increase the TTL value. So what you need to use? You can use multi-hop command. Multi-hop 2. If you give multi-hop 2, then configure a static route between here and establish it a BGP with loopback. But generally they won't do that. They won't do that. Why? This is another AS, this is another AS. If you configure any for reachability, if you configure any static route or IGP, right? So what will happen if you configure any IGP generally? Interior Gateway Routing Protocol like OSPF between between two public domains, Tata and Geo. So it's a IGP, right? All your internal routes will be exposed into public. So it will be a big problem for you. Yes or no? All your internal routes it will exposing to geo. So whatever the Tungabhadra networks IP addresses, right? Everything geo will come to know. It's a security breach, right? It's a security breach. If the it's IP address of the company, right? Whatever the IP addresses they are using, right? If you know that, it's a big problem to the hackers. Destination they will send a DDoS effect. They will do a lot of stuff. Okay, for security, right? They will only establish BGP with direct peers. That's why they kept TTL value is 1. Now everyone understand, right, why TTL value is 1 in EBGP peer for security reasons. However, if you want to establish with loopbacks with internal, right, you can just increase multi-hop value and you can configure EBGP between, indirect. Is it clear now, everyone? For EBGP indirect peers. So there are two things in BGP: direct neighborship, indirect neighborship. Whatever it is, direct means they have already reachability. You will establish a neighborship. For indirect, you don't have reachability. To get a reachability, you use any routing protocol. Again, internal routing protocol, either static or IGP. Okay, so but in EBGP, it's a multi TTL value is 1. If you increase multi hop count 2, the TTL value will increase 2, so that you can establish TCP. Everyone understand what I'm saying here in EBGP perspective? Indirect peer.
Yes,
No, you don't understand.
and understood.
Everyone. Okay, guys, I'm asking you only. Everyone understand what I'm saying? Currently, we are establishing a BGP peer, right? With direct or indirect?
Direct.
Direct, right? So because direct point to point IP, we have reachability, so we no need any multi-hop. If you want to establish a neighborship with 4.4.4, it means I'm on R3 now. Give a neighbor statement 4.4.4, but 4.4.4 cannot reachable now to establish a BGP. 4.4.4 is not established now because 4.4.4 you want to have reachability. To get a reachability, what you need to do? You need to configure a static route here.
Route.
Then only you will get a reachability. Then you will establish a BGP. Understand? Right? Yeah. So the also you need to give a multi-hop value too. Okay, you need to give a multi-hop value to 34.3, 34.4, right? So let's show you what is a multi-hop value. So here config router BGP what 100, right? Yeah. So now neighbor, right? Neighbor, you just configure like this. If after configuring a static route, neighbor 4.4.4, you need to give multi-hop. 1 second. So you need to increase the you need to give the TTL value, right? Yeah. So you, on the neighbor level, you need to establish. Okay. So it's a EBGP multi-hop. So EBGP multi-hop. Okay. You can give count maximum up to 255. You can give. You need to give this statement. Okay. Then after, so yeah, remote AS. First of all, I need to configure neighborship, right? Remote AS. What is that? 300. After that, you need to give EBGP multi-hop. Okay. EBGP multi-hop 2 because the 4.4.4 is away from two values, right? If it is packet is living from here to here, what will happen? If it is packet is TTL value will reduce by 1, right? From here to here 2, right? So but the thing is, if you see do show BGP summary, 4.4.4 is not established. Okay. So yeah. So generally you advertise BGP with direct and you advertise 4.4.4. That's why it is flapping. So you don't do that. Okay. So initially when you do neighborship, right? You have to configure a static route here. Okay, then only you will reachable. Okay, no neighbor 4.4.4.4. I'm giving this, and now it's good. So for to just showing how to configure, you know, indirect neighborship, I'm just showing in EBGP. So 4.4.4 it is reachable after establishing directing BGP and I advertise it. Then only you're having reachability with 4.4.4. So 4.4.4 is a BGP route. Show IP BGP. So show 4.4.4 is a BGP route. Okay. So if you see right, show IP route. It's a what it is. It's a BGP route. So until unless you establish a BGP neighborship, how come the 4.4.4 will come? Right? If you want to establish a neighborship with directly with 4.4.4, first of all, reachability should be there. Okay. So that is the perspective of EBGP indirect neighborship. Now let's configure IBGP internally within the AS. Now everyone focus. So I told you right, BGP you can configure. Suppose I have in my network, this is Tungabhadra networks, I have 100 routers. From router 1 to router 100, I can configure a BGP neighborship. But it's a direct neighborship or indirect neighborship.
Direct match.
Huh?
Indirect, sir.
Indirect, right? From one router 1 to router 100. Between there are 99 routers are there, 98 routers. So okay, forget about that. See here, I'm configuring a neighborship between R1 and R3. Is it a direct neighborship or indirect neighborship?
Indirect.
Direct.
Indirect, right? Because 3.3.3 is far away from here. So first of all, to configure a neighbor, right? Okay, what is that router BGP 100, right? Okay, so now I'm on R1. So now what is that BGP? Okay, so I have to configure some IP addresses. Let's configure IP addresses, guys. IP address 1.1.1. Okay. Now interface G1/0. IP address 192.168. It's 12.1, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
No shutdown. Okay. Now if you see right, see here clearly. So if I want to configure router BGP 100 and my neighbor is I want to establish a indirect neighborship 3.3.3. It's a direct neighbor or indirect neighbor?
R3 is the for R1 indirect neighbor.
Yeah, indirect neighbor, right? So this is a 12.0 network. You can configure interface here 12.2. Here it is 12.1. Okay. So if you configure a neighborship with 12.2, that's a direct. But I'm configuring 3.3, it is far away from somewhere. Avana? Right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
now it's an indirect neighbor. To configure this, right? See, what is the remote AS now? Remote AS also 100 you can give. Okay. Now to establish a neighborship, first 3.3.3. Do you have do show IP route in your 3.3.3 routing table around that? This 3.3.3, you don't have route in your routing table. You don't have reachability to 3.3.3. See, do ping. You don't have reachability. If you don't have reachability, the BGP will establish. Tell me, BGP will establish or not? No, right? So now what you need to achieve? To in IBGP to establish a indirect neighborship, you need to configure a IGP protocol. Okay. So let's configure OSPF for reachability. Okay. OSPF. So you can configure any IGP protocol like EIGRP or ISIS or OSPF. So generally OSPF and BGP is the combination. So now you understand, right? Why OSPF is important? Without learning OSPF, are you able to do BGP here, indirect BGP? No, right? So OSPF is mandatory. That's why everyone is asking OSPF BGP because they are using this combination. Now to get a reachability for this neighbor, what I'm doing now? Configuring OSPF 110. Take 110 and advertise the network as usual. You know 1.1.1 wildcard mask 0.0.0 and consider this is area 0 and network. What is that? 192.168.12.0 and wildcard mask. What is that? Area 0. Now that's it. Now go to R2. Same on R1, R2, R3. You need to configure everything here. So guys, are you understanding what I'm doing now? So configuring OSPF in blue section. Okay. Guys, are you getting my point? Hello.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why I'm configuring this? Because to get the reachability for the neighbors.
Reachability.
Yeah, that's it. So just check. I'm just configuring IP addresses. Okay. And get configure loopback 0. And now let's configure OSPF. Okay. 1110.
బ్రో స్మాల్ డౌట్.
Yeah, please.
ఓఎస్పీఎఫ్ 1110 ఇవ్వాలా లేకపోతే ఏదైనా ఇవ్వచ్చా మనం?
Brother. అన్నీ నీకు
అంటే
తెలుసు కదా.
అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ డిస్టెన్స్ అని చెప్పారు.
ఓఎస్పిఎఫ్ క్లాస్ లో అయిపోయింది ఇదంతా. ఏదని ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చు. అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ డిస్టెన్స్ కాదు అది. అది నేను జస్ట్ మీకు గుర్తుండడం కోసం 110 ఇస్తా. నువ్వు 10 ఇచ్చుకో, 20 ఇచ్చుకో, 15 ఇచ్చుకో. ఓకే.
ఓకే.
ఎనీథింగ్ యూ కెన్ గివ్. ఓకే. ఏమంటే ఓఎస్పిఎఫ్ అంటే 110 అనేది గుర్తుండేయాలి, ఏడీ వాల్యూ గుర్తుండాలని నేను అట్లా ఇచ్చాను అంతే. నీ ఇష్టం ఏదైనా ఇచ్చుకో. ఏ మ్యాన్ యూ ఆల్రెడీ డన్ ఆల్ ద ల్యాబ్స్ బ్రదర్. ఓకే. యా ఎనీహౌ నో ప్రాబ్లం. యూ కెన్ గివ్ ఎనీథింగ్. అటానమస్ సిస్టమ్ నెంబర్ రైట్ 65,535. You can give anything out of that range. It's up to you. In whatever the process in OSPF you need to call a process ID actually. So అది మీరు ఏదైనా ఇచ్చుకోవచ్చు, ప్రాబ్లం లేదు. 12.123. Okay, done. Okay, so now going to R3. So కోవిడ్ నువ్వేనా ఇది? చాలా రోజుల తర్వాత చూస్తున్నా మళ్ళీ. ఓకే.
యా బ్రో ఈ రోజు జాయిన్ అయ్యా బ్రో.
ఓకే. హౌ ఈజ్ యువర్ సో సిసిఎన్పి క్లాసెస్ కూడా జాయిన్ అవ్వలేదు కదా కొన్ని నేను.
ఇనిషియల్‌గా బ్రో తర్వాత
ఓకే. సో దిస్ ఈస్ కంటిన్యూయస్లీ ఉంటుంది. టుమారో నుంచి 8:30కి ఉంటుంది. దయచేసి మిస్ చేసుకోకండి. ఓకే.
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 ఇంటర్ఫేస్ G2/0 IP address. So I'm configuring. Guys, I'm configuring just IP addresses. Okay. Oh, he's not explaining anything. Don't feel like that. I'm just configuring IP addresses. Loopback I already configured, right? So try to configure OSPF now. Router OSPF and network 192.168.23.0 and wildcard mask area 0. And what is the network we have here? 3.3.3. This is the main thing, right? And now area 0. And you no need to advertise this 34.0 network in OSPF. Okay, it's a EBGP public network. Only your internal facing interface only you need to do that. Okay, I'm on R3 and I did it. Now you can see, right? Now go on R1. Now see, can I ping? Yeah, now 3.3.3 is ping, right? You have a reachability to your neighbor. Show BGP summary. Hey, BGP is not up, still idle. Why? This side also you need to configure BGP, right? Both sides. So on R3 you need to configure a BGP. Let's configure router BGP 100. What is the neighbor? Neighbor. Now here indirect, right? We are giving 1.1.1. Guys, are you getting my point? I'm configuring a BGP neighbor on R3. Who is the R3 neighbor here now? 1.1.1. Okay. So now neighbor and remote AS is what? 100. See, your local AS is 100 and remote AS is 100. Then the router understand it's an IBGP. Is it clear? Your local AS is 100 and your remote AS is 100. So it is understand it's an IBGP. If it is local AS is 100, remote AS is 300, it is called two different AS, it's a EBGP. But it is a IBGP, right? So why we are configuring neighborship internally with loopbacks, if you have multiple paths to reach the next hop. What is the next hop? Is right. Remember, if you have multiple paths to reach this next hop, right? Here, okay. So in case the OSPF to reach your neighbor, to reach your BGP neighbor, R1 prospect to the BGP neighbor is 3.3.3. To reach your neighbor 3.3.3, we are following OSPF path. OSPF path, right? You have two paths. So, but BGP neighbor is 3.3.3. In case this path went down, the traffic will go via this path. The OSPF remains, BGP neighborship remains up because you have a reachability towards 3.3.3 continuously. So when BGP will go down in case the to reachability to the next stop, right? For R1, what is the next stop? 3.3.3. If the neighbor is down, if when it will go down, if physical link or the reachability towards this 3.3.3 down, right? The neighbor will go down. In case this physical path went down, the reachability will go down because single path it is available to reach 3.3.3. Here you have a two paths, right? In case if one physical path goes down, you have another path to reach the next stop. So your BGP neighbor remains same, your internet is safe. Guys, internally understand what I'm saying? That's why the BGP neighborship they will establish with loopbacks. Why they are establishing the BGP with loopbacks? That to indirect means, you know, it has a redundancy for its neighbors. So those neighbors will never go down if they have multiple paths, right? Guys, are you getting my point? Hello,
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
right? This is my neighbor 3.3.3. From R1 to 3.3.3 to reach 3.3.3, I have multiple paths. So now, if any physical link goes down, I have a reachability via R7, so my neighbor will not go down. In case if there is no suppose if you establish with physical this point to point, right? Physical interface IP addresses, you can establish with physical IP address here also. What is that? 192.168.23.3 here, right? So you can establish a BGP neighborship with 23.3 also because all you need is reachability. Okay, but why they're not going with physical IP interfaces? In case the physical link go down, okay, in case that physical link go down, the neighborship 200% will go down. That's why they use loopbacks. Now you understand, right? Why we need loopbacks? In loopbacks are very important now, right? Loopbacks are virtual interfaces which will never go down, and in BGP it is very helpful. They will establish a neighborship with loopbacks because if you establish with physical interfaces indirectly also, if the physical link go down, the neighborship will go down. But if you establish a neighborship with loopbacks, it will never goes down because loopbacks are having reachability via different interfaces. Guys, now you understand the power of loopbacks now in BGP, right? You may have question, right? Why, where we exactly we use loopbacks? Now here, this is the actual purpose of loopbacks. Is it clear, everyone? Understood?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now my question is, I have configured BGP on both the routers, but why BGP is not establishing? See, I'm on R3 show BGP summary. Still BGP is in idle. What's wrong in that? See, show run section BGP. I have configured C correctly only. Something is fishy, right?
Yes, sir.
So can I tell you what is fishy? Okay,
R2 లో 2 network.
కాదు. Packet level analysis. Okay,
Reverse.
see, carefully listen. Yeah, guys, this is very important. ఒక 10 minutes అంతే క్లాస్ అయిపోతుంది. Please listen here. This is R1. This is R3. Okay, so if I what I'm giving in R1, neighbor 3.3.3.3 remote AS. How much? It's 100 only. Because both are 100. I'm giving this statement. Once I have given this statement, what it will do? It will establish a three-way handshake process, right? Yes or no? First of all, the BGP uses TCP port number 179, right? It will use the established. So now tell me, what is the R1? Now the best part is R1, R2, R3. So what is the R1 source IP?
192.
1.1.
What is that? Okay,
1.1.
1.1.2.
okay. Source IP is what? 192.168.12.1.
12.1.
Why 1.1.1 Baya? So always you will take as exit interface as a source IP. Yes or no? I'm sending a packet
Yes.
from R1 to R3. It will always take exit interface IP. Whatever the best path to reach this 3.3.3 destination, exit interface IP always take as a source IP. Now the destination IP is 3.3.3. And now next upper layer TCP, right? TCP, and I can see destination port equal to 179. Okay. Yeah. Now this packet arrives here. Now you tell me R3, what is the neighbor you configure? 1.1.1, right? So R3 is expecting a TCP packet, synchronization packet to establish a, what is that? To establish neighborship, right? First it will send a TCP, right? With sync packet, sync equal to 1. You know, right, everyone, three-way handshake process, I explained it. First, if any service using TCP, first what it will do? It will establish a three-way handshake process. So first R1 is sending this packet, sync packet to R3. So in R3, what is your configuration? Neighbor 1.1.1. So R3 is expecting a TCP SYN packet from 1.1.1, but you're getting a SYN packet from 12.1. Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So you're not getting a TCP SYN packet from 1.1.1. You're getting a TCP SYN packet from 12.1. So this is it missing. So what you need to do on R1, okay? Listen carefully. So here what you have done, just you configure a neighbor, right? So same thing what you need to configure a neighbor. If I want to establish this neighbor, I need to I need to update my loopback. Update source. It means whatever the source IP, right? I need to update this, not a physical interface, exit interface IP. I need to update source, whatever the loopback IP, right? Loopback 0. I'm giving. So it will update the source with loopback 0. What is the loopback 0 IP address here? It is 1.1.1, right? So whenever it is sending a TCP packet with 3.3.3, it will change the source IP address as 1.1.1. I just updated by using this command. See, after giving this, immediately the BGP neighbor is there, right? So I just updated source as loopback 0. Loopback IP is 1.1.1. Now it is here, right? You configure neighbor as 1.1.1. So then this is accepted since SYNAC ACK is completed, and you will see that. So in physical directly connected interfaces, you are configuring. So you are configuring what 34.4 because it's had a reachability. Here on R4 you mentioned 34.4 as a 34.3 as a neighbor. So when it is sending, right, exit interface, it is taking as a 34.3. That's why you don't configure any update source loopback 0 config because point to point IP, right? If it is sending any packet, right, source IP, it will take as exit interface IP, right? So it is already there. That's why the expectations are reachable in EBGP direct connections. But here indirect, right? Indirect connections, you need to update your source and send it. So now after updating my source as a loopback IP, then it is sending a TCP packet with 1.1.1. Now R3 is accepted because the neighbor is configured as a 1.1 here. Guys, understood what I'm saying? Hello? అర్థమైందా అందరికి?
Yes, sir.
సో ఇన్ని
Yes.
నైబర్స్ ఉంటే అన్ని నైబర్స్ కి అప్డేట్ చేయాలా బ్రో?
ఎస్, యూనిట్ అప్డేట్. అదర్వైజ్ ఏమవుతుంది, ఎగ్జిట్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ తీసుకుంటుంది. ఇక్కడేమో నువ్వు నైబర్ అని చెప్పేసి 1.1.1 ఇస్తావు, బట్ ఎగ్జిట్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ 12.1 ఉంటుంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎక్స్పెక్టింగ్
యా.
ఏ ప్యాకెట్ ఫ్రమ్ 12.1. It is expecting a packet from 1.1.1, not 12.1. So that's why packet is not accepting it. It is not match. So same thing you need to configure on R3. Okay, config terminal, router BGP 100, and what is the neighbor 1.1.1.1, and update source loopback 0. That's it. So now BGP established. See, show BGP summary. Now it's established, right? Indirect neighborship, right? It is just establish a neighbor, but you did not advertise any network, right, on R1. So if you want to advertise any network, right, network 1.1.1.1 and mask, you give it, and 255.255.255.255. That's it. Now on R3 you will receive this 1.1.1. See, I'm going to R3 now. Show IP BGP. See, I'm receiving 1.1.1, right? From where I'm receiving my neighbor 1.1.1. So it's same like a OSPF. It is a link state ID and it is a advertising router. Same kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah. Now if you check show IP route, right? For 1.1.1, it is showing it is learning via OSPF. Okay. Generally. Okay. However, uh, let's configure one more loopback IP address. I just want to show you one thing. Interface loopback one. Okay. IP address some 10.10.10.10. Okay. And I want to advertise this 10.10.10 in BGP network 10.10.10.10 mask. Okay. Now on R3 side you will see show IP BGP 10.10.10 you will see from next hop 1.1.1. Okay. If you check show IP route, right? So for 10.10.10 you will see it is learning via BGP, but you can see it is 200 now. What does it mean 200? It is a IBGP administrative distance. Okay. For this is 20, right? It is also a BGP. It is also a BGP, but 20 represents it's a EBGP route, EBGP administrative distance. For 200 is a it's a IBGP administrative distance. Understand everyone? Hello. What is the administrative distance of IBGP? It is 200. If it is 200, right, it is a IBGP route. If it is 20, right, it is a EBGP route. Is it clear, everyone? Now, what are the AD values of static? Static is 1, OSPF is 110, EIGRP is what? 90,
19.
and now BGP, IBGP is 200 and EBGP is 20. These many protocols we learn today, right? So now this is the class of today. So what we learn today? EBGP and IBGP configurations and advertisements. Tomorrow we will continue to configure. So if you have free time, right? Configure, you know, EBGP between all routers and IBGP between R1 and R3 only. Okay. Just whatever I have teach today, right? Complete that. Extra if you have time, right? Between R4 and R6, R6 and R5 also, please configure BGP, EBGP and practice it. Understand? From R1, right? From R1, I want to ping R6. If it is successful, then we are good. If you have time, practice it. Otherwise, no problem. Tomorrow I'll teach it. Okay. This is all for today, day one. So day one, what we have learned? EBGP configurations, IBGP configurations, and basic BGP. What is autonomous system number? So EBGP, the TTL value is 1. So you need to configure multi-hop if you want to configure indirect. The port TCP port number is 179. The configurations, everything we learn today. Is it clear, everyone? Understand? So what you need to give here?
Yes, sir.
So please listen this class one more time if you want to get a clear clarity. Okay, update source, loop back 0. Okay, so the loop back is 1.1.1. You will get it this. So do you need this screenshot? Okay, fine. Before sending, anyone having any questions? Okay, so today we have discussed what is IBGP, what is EBGP, and how you advertise the routes in BGP. And EBGP TTL value is 1, port number. And if you want to configure a EBGP with indirect, you need to use multi-hop. Everything we discussed today. Okay, so tomorrow I will discuss EB, BGP adjacency process. Very important. How many states we have? So everything, guys. So after this class, I will show you BGP messages. So you need to learn those messages. Okay. Yeah. So I hope everyone understand this class. And yeah, uh, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Anyone having any questions? Yeah, even if it is silly, you can ask. No problem.
మీరు ల్యాబ్ పీపీటీ పంపిస్తారా గ్రూప్లో?
ల్యాబ్ పీపీటీ ఆల్రెడీ వెబ్సైట్లో ఉంది, డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకొని చేయండి. ఓకే, ఆర్ ఎల్స్ ఐఎమ్ అప్లోడింగ్ దిస్ వీడియో, జస్ట్ ఫాస్ట్ ఫార్వర్డ్ చేసి ప్రాక్టీస్ చేసేసుకోండి. ఓకేనా? యా
Sir, please send us the screenshot to us also, sir. May 21st.
yeah, I will also send. Why I'm sending screenshots, I'm sending a configuration here. You no need to watch all the PPT configuration. Write the commands and syntax. Try by yourself. Do mistakes and learn it. If you whatever you see on the PPT and configuring it, right, you cannot learn it. I'm just giving a syntax and configure by your own and do mistakes, and then only you will learn, right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much, everyone.